What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today is January the 10th. I want to give you a quick pre-market update, go over some of the hot movers and what big money is doing on this fun Friday morning. Before getting to any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So starting off with data, the highly anticipated unemployment did come out. Better than anticipated. Came in at 4.1. Forecast was 4.3. Even non-farm payroll came in at 256,000. Forecast was 200,000. So very, very good data. I think in reality, a lot of people were just looking at the unemployment, not necessarily the non-farm payroll. That's kind of just a little bit of an extra icing, if that makes sense. But surprisingly, with that good data, the market is pulling back significantly. So Dow is down 0.93, S&P down 0.91, NASDAQ is down 0.99. And a lot of people are speculating already why it is going down. And it is because we are back at that kind of momentary inverse kind of scenario. Market truly does want additional rate cuts, and when we have good data such as this, there is no real reason to cut rates. So all in all, it is what it is. It's kind of that inverse scenario that was at the beginning of 2024, that we wanted negative data, but couldn't have been too bad. Had to been just bad enough to justify a rate cut, but not bad enough to justify that a recession is coming. So honestly, in my opinion, with this good data, like clearly it goes to show, given the circumstances that we are in right now, the economy is doing absolutely amazing. So sometimes you have to neglect and ignore what the market is doing. This pullback could have been a dream to those individuals that is buying the dip, because who's going to argue that we're going down because we don't get a rate cut? It just doesn't make sense whatsoever. Economy is doing relatively strong. Fear and greed index, obviously I think this is still broken. It does show under the fear category, so just to kind of keep that in mind. But getting right to it though, Sofi is down 0.89. No actual news, no SEC filings associated to them. They've been doing some pretty good posts on social media lately. More specifically, I think Anthony, but nothing of substance that is worthwhile to buy Sofi because of that. Right now, 12.95% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 138.04 million shares. So shorts haven't really been doing all that much on Wednesday. They did take advantage of kind of the bloodbath. They returned quite a lot. So they've been kind of in that type of mood, and I would have anticipated for them to really double down based off of the bad jolt numbers, but they didn't. Maybe inverse type of scenario is happening and will play out. So with good unemployment, maybe they might increase today. Something to keep in mind. With today being Friday, you have to factor this in. So this is NEO, so I'll quickly pull up Sofi. So open interest always does play a big part. So the only big thing to really watch for, so you have 21,000 at that 16, 10,000 at 15.50, 8,000 at 15, 5,000 at 14.50, and then 3,000 at 14. So you might not see a certain level of manipulation or anything like that, as shorts try to suppress it below that. So market obviously, like I said, doesn't really like the data. It is down 2.41%, sitting between these 2 points. So this pivot and this S1, 1401 is going to be the next strong support. 1483 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. In my opinion, like I kind of mentioned at the beginning, I think that today's pullback is unjustified and people will buy the dip. But let's say people decide to sell off, just kind of watch for that support level to hold. Moving on, RGTI was up in the morning, or pre-market. Many actually quantum stocks were up ever since Jensen said what he did, kind of prompted that crazy pullback. There was a couple of articles coming out saying, well, you know what, it won't be 15 years. It most likely will be 5 years, even though that's not all that much better in reality coming from an investor standpoint, but that was causing a little bit of a recovery. So that's what was happening, but clearly the market had other plans. 14.62% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 36.76 million shares overall are being shorted. So Again, watch for them to be fairly active today with RGTI. With it now at 984, it is trading between these 2 points. So the pivot in this S1, 1246 is going to be the next strong target slash resistance. 612 is going to be the next strong support. So you could see a lot of volatility. This will be a swing trader's dream. So kind of just watch for that. In my opinion, like I said, there could be that recovery. So I think with this stock, you might really want to add it to your watch list. Walgreens just had their earnings, better than anticipated. And that's kind of the bet, like why I like to sometimes buy value stocks. I recently did buy Walgreens. Somewhat for that yield, which is crazy high. But at the same time, like sometimes stocks get so low that and Wall Street just sets the bar so low that they can easily beat on their earnings. That was type of like a Walgreens kind of scenario, although there was a certain level of risk involved because Walgreens has been really notoriously missing, but shorts have been starting to get in quite a lot. 13.12% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 93.65 million shares overall are being shorted. Right now with that 1060, it next strong kind of target to watch for is $10.79. So just watch for that, and then potentially you could see that 966 is going to be the next strong support. I don't see that being touched whatsoever today. If anything, I think Walgreens is getting a lot of the institutions that probably sold out of it over the last quarter, and they're buying back in. That's just how the market usually works. But ticker INTZ, so it is up 14.5%, and that is no actual substantial news. They did an offering on January the 6th, so I think right now it's just more linked to a technical recovery. It is on the threshold list and has been on the threshold list. Looks like since January the 6th. So you won't see any activity from the SEC or market makers up until that 13-day mark. But 5.34% of the free float is being shorted, works to be 330,000 shares. So in my opinion, given the price action, most likely shorts will double down because they've been taking advantage of kind of the sell-off in the stock price to return. So again, most likely inversely they will be increasing today, so kind of just stay tuned for that. With it at $2.17 though, it is trading between this S1 and S2, so $1.99 is going to be the next strong support, which is kind of where it landed on Friday. Then 306 or 305 is going to be the next strong target slash resistance. I don't see that being touched whatsoever today, so if anything, it might be slowly gravitating kind of just within this range, if not slowly gravitating back to this S2. And then moving on from here, last but not least, ticker AKYA, it is up 24% because of this. So it looks like this company is acquiring that the company, so Akoya, if I'm saying that right. Total combined value is roughly 175 million. So I think that's what the market is essentially taking it to. There is no actual price laid out in this. So like I said, I think the market's just taking it to that 175 right now. Prior to the market and all this activity, it is sitting at 131. So I wouldn't really go and YOLO into this because I think there is very limited upside. Based on the market open, it seems to be probably taking it close to that 175. So again, I don't think there's much room on the table to potentially buy it and make some money off of it. So that's the kind of the downside of doing and investing in companies that are getting acquired, because there is fixed amounts, right? So just something to kind of keep in mind. As far as this goes, it is somewhat heavily shorted, so 9.28% given the circumstances. So you might see a lot of volatility today, but nonetheless, shorts will be like forced to kind of return some of their shares. So let me know your thoughts on these stocks. Is there any other stocks that is floating your boat? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon where I give buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolute bangers, so pop over there and take a look. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.